Okay, and we are live with the very first episode of our brand new podcast, Setbacks and a Shot of Tequila. My name is Luke, and I'm here with my friend.
Kenny, you're here. We're here together.
Yeah.
I'm not your guest. You treat me with respect.
All right, my co-host. Sorry.
Co-host, yes,
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yes.
And
yeah,
in
co-host.
lieu of the name Shotbacks and a set of tequila.
I don't think you used in lieu of right either. I think you fucked that up too. We are off to a great start here, folks. Anyways,
Shotbacks
to go with our names, Setbacks and a Shot of Tequila, we are going to open up every episode with a shot of tequila. What are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking Jose Cuervo.
Starting it off pretty basic.
Expensive, surprisingly. And I'm going to tell you something. I hate tequila. I think we both have an understanding.
Yeah,
of this.
I don't think either of us like tequila at all. So why?
Because Setbacks and a shot of Jack just isn't as catchy.
Fair enough.
So I say let's just get right to it here.
Let's get this over with. This is gonna be terrible.
Before seeing as I'm already getting my words mixed
I've already got a headache. This is gonna suck.
Okay, ready?
Nope.
We gotta count this down. Oh, that smell.
Oh.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in 3, 2, 1, and go. Ah!
Oh. That's terrible.
Oh.
It's giving me numb flashbacks, man.
Oh, it's absolutely. Ooh, that's feeling it all the way down. All right, well, we have that out of the way.
Okay, that is out of the way.
Let's get on to topic
Holy
number
shit.
2. Keeping with the theme of alcohol. Not that this podcast based around. I just feel it down here every time I talk.
We're not alcoholics, I swear. We just figured to make things a little easier, it'd be nice to drink throughout the evening, just to kind of.
We're creating an atmosphere here.
Yeah.
We're creating Saturday night. We're hanging
casual.
out. We're gonna have friends over. Next podcast, who knows who will be on? It could just be us. Maybe we just don't have any friends. But it's more or less just creating this atmosphere of just hanging out, having a few beers, and just talking about whatever the hell we feel like.
Exactly.
So each episode we are going to feature different assortments of alcohol that we have never had before, and that look either peculiar or just had a fun name. Pretty much. That's the theme we're going with here.
We're just going for different shit that caught our eyes.
Exactly. It's going to be random each time. If you're listening here and say, "Hey, let's request something," then we'll try and find it for you. But today on the table here, I wish this was a visual podcast because I'm very good at displaying things. But we have Beaver Tail Raspberry Ale, which is by the Grizzly Paw, brewed in Canmore, Alberta. So there you go, Canmore. We're keeping it local.
Fairly local, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that's number 1. The reason why we're starting with that is because I accidentally opened mine before the podcast started. So
You drunk bastard.
I am just hammered, guys. Like, you don't even understand at this point. Second
I'm
on
like
the docket.
I'm like half a beer in. I'm trashed.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's gonna be one of those nights. Second on the docket we have
Hey,
here.
let's roll it out as we get
Oh,
to
you
it.
want to do that?
Yeah.
That's that's a fair way of putting it. We're not dedicating ourselves to a little too much than we can handle here.
Yeah.
Well, here I'm gonna hand you
hand
yours
me that shit.
and have our. Oh, that's my bottle opener as a magnet. I did not know that. Okay.
Oh, that was satisfying on the microphone.
Again, I can't hear it. My microphone, more or less, is just to look cool because it does not work at all. So.
Totally.
Have you tried your first sip yet?
No. I've
Just
literally just
inspecting
looked at it.
Well, looking at it's not going to drink itself. So get used to the sounds of us drinking and burping.
I wonder if that showed up on the mic.
I guess we'll find out.
That is very good.
Isn't it?
Holy crap, that
it's a
tastes
little warm,
delicious.
But you know what? For the first podcast, it's not a good.
It's not too strong.
Needless to say, we're going to be slurring our words even worse come the end of the podcast.
Oh yeah, it'll be terrible.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what this is, who we are, and that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
let's introduce ourselves. My name is Luke. I guess we both have YouTube channels.
Yes. Yeah,
You
that's a good way to introduce us.
yeah. Let's talk about some of our other stuff we do. The YouTube channels we do. Myself, I've been vlogging for how long has it been now? I think February ish.
Yeah, that sounds about
February or March is when I started. Um,
All I'm gonna hear is my listeners every time we burp. We're gonna have a little burp counter.
we should totally have a burp counter.
Whoever's like listening
Yeah,
to this,
get on that.
yeah. Again, I'd say just in a
Just
little
tweet
corner
that shit
screen.
at us.
I don't know how we're gonna. Oh, yeah. Okay. This
I
might
am
get a little
so
gross.
sorry.
Yeah.
I might edit these out later.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Depending.
We'll see how they sound.
Yeah, that it's showing up on the audio. I can tell you that much.
And I'm trying to hold my back. Anyway, sorry. Were you?
Okay, yeah, I've been vlogging since March ish.
2014.
Yes, 2014 for those listening in the future, whoever you are. I really bad at keeping a schedule, and only recently I've started doing daily vlogs. Today was day 9. Yeah, we're recording this on a Saturday, so we'll probably be released on a Monday.
Yeah, I think that's the schedule we want to
I think that's schedule we're going to try for. We make no promises, but that's what we're going to shoot for.
That's another thing I want to get across here is there are no promises right now. We're in a very beta stage of this new media form, and like Luke, I am terrible at keeping schedules with things, and I've found myself promising many things and not fulfilling that, and there's no worse feeling. So
yeah. How long have you been cleaning this room?
Yeah, well, it's done now, so it's just I want to.
When did you start?
I started on Monday. It's Saturday now, but the room looks great. Oh god, the burps! The burps are everywhere.
It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like an hour-long podcast of us just burping over and over again. Anyways, tangents. The room looks great. This is actually a bit of a multi-purpose room. Unfortunately, again, it's an audio podcast, so you can't see it. But we will be doing a lot of different recordings as far as YouTube. In this room. We're gonna try video eventually. We'll do something one day. Anyways, more about you, or are you done? Or?
I think that's all I've got right now. What about you? You sort of have YouTube channel?
I sort of have a YouTube channel. Last summer, what was that year? 2013. I'm a very ambitious person. My follow through is lackluster at best. I started a channel last summer and posted on it somewhat regularly, more of a vlog kind of. I don't know. I'm trying to find myself. Needless to say, that lasted maybe a few months, and I've been at a bit of a hiatus for like last 8 months or so. I will be posting stuff up as far as this podcast, like relatable topics. Well, I'm feeling that tequila already.
Really?
It went from the stomach, now it's going up to the head. Anyways, so I don't really want to call myself a YouTuber right now because that's just. I don't think non-subscribers can call yourself a YouTuber, but I have a passion for it, and I more or less am finding my medium as far as what kind of media I want to get into. And a little backstory about me, I don't want to overshadow your story, but for the longest time, keep in mind here, we're 21 years old as of the start of this podcast. Who knows how it will be when it ends. It could be like a 5-hour podcast, you never know. No, we're still going to be 21 after 5 hours, never mind. I've always had a passion for radio, and unfortunately, I've yet to ever be able to get into it. The programs are very steep, and as far as a lifestyle choice, I still don't know exactly what I think will be best for me, but we kind of stumbled upon this podcast as a great way that I can express my love for broadcasting in a different way.
Yeah, and you know what, man, podcasts are where it's at right now. Radio's kind of going out the door.
Dying art form.
Yeah. I was actually listening to a radio interview. Oh yeah. I was listening to a radio interview the other day where they were talking with people who do podcasts, and they were saying how the guy on the radio show was talking to his advertisers, like talking about prices and stuff. He's like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what we pay to advertise on this podcast." And it's like some like ridiculous number that's like more than twice of what they pay to get on like a radio show.
Yeah, and the thing that's nice about podcasts, which is, oh, I just swallowed beer and it went down the wrong side.
Aren't you normally supposed to swallow beer?
Yeah, usually. I'm trying a new thing. I'm drinking it out of this nice little margarita style glasses you bought from the dollar store, and
Yeah,
I feel classier drinking it.
that's the mana potion.
So
This is the
like
health
that.
potion, man. That's why I got them.
You didn't tell me that.
I'm gonna post pictures of this for this podcast. For these, all of our podcasts, we're gonna have a link dump. I'm gonna put together a link dump whenever I post this. Basically, a list of links and stuff that we talk about down in the description.
Isn't a link dump when you like eat a lot of Chinese food and it kind of comes out looking like sausage? That's when you say link dump, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, I'll be putting a link dump.
Continue.
And I'm gonna put pictures of these glasses.
We're gonna archive everything we do. This is gonna be a very social project. Social studies. You know what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, these glasses are awesome, and I got them at the dollar store.
That is pretty impressive. Yeah. Anyways, back to tangents.
What were we talking about?
That's something we're gonna have to work on here, I think. Because what was I talking about?
No,
I was talking about. We're talking about podcasts.
Podcast, radio
versus radio. And the thing about podcasts, which is obviously being displayed right now, is honestly anyone can do one.
Yeah.
You get the right equipment, you get the right people, you get the atmosphere going, and you create this show.
It's
basically
a low barrier of entry, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about like just the internet and like this new media. I mean, a low barrier of entry definitely means you're gonna have more low quality stuff. Ergo, this.
Point in case.
Yes. But the thing is, like, there's more content. It's thank you for that. It's like everybody can do it. Everybody has the freedom to express themselves. It's the same with YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just get so much more content. It's just a wider variety. Like you're not held back by.
There's no filter.
Yeah, there's no filter. You're not held back by like FCC regulations. You don't have networks or executives breathing down your neck trying to like maximize profits over anything. You're just free to do what you want, how you want.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a tough industry still. Like you have all these people entering, and it really is a great way to find new talents, new things, new shows even. Like it's more or less completely focused around the people and what the people want, and the things that people like are the things that get popular and the things that flourish.
It's reality television that's actually the reality.
Exactly.
It's not vapid scripted bullshit that's thought up by a boardroom somewhere.
Well, some of it is,
but it's still like it's not a boardroom of people that are out of touch with reality. It's like it's the people who are in the show are the people that are like, yeah, I think this is funny, so let's do this. It's not. I think this is what the people thinks is funny.
The people thinks.
God damn it.
Oh, sorry, I can rest. But yeah, and as far as getting into radio, it's really as of right now, I am in radio. This is what I wanted out of it. I'm able to express myself even more than if I were to be on a radio show, because you know what, this is our show. We have full say in what happens, what we say, how it gets posted. It's all in our hands. It's more in Luke's hands because he's the one who does all the technical stuff. Yeah, but it's in our hands.
I'm the guy that pretends to be the technical guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not the technical guy. And anyways, so back to me. Yeah, so radio is kind of the one thing that kind of pushed me into the idea of us starting a podcast. Well, it's both of our idea, but Anyways, back to who I am now. I'm just a regular guy. Honestly, if nothing,
I'm
if
just a regular guy. I just like long walks on the beach.
watching the sunset.
Yeah.
No, and maybe this is what will help this podcast is two guys that work Monday to Friday jobs. Well, you work Saturdays too, but and are in a very delicate stages in our lives, being early 20s, and we're just gonna do what we feel is right. And
Yeah,
we may sound like the most uninteresting people in the world. Honestly, I can reassure you we are. But everyone has their moments, right, guys? Like,
totally.
we'll find our moments here on
We'll
this
find them.
podcast.
Sure.
Let's well, we got our biographies, summed up here.
So
Hold on, before we get anything else, how do we know each other? Let's just get this across now.
I guess we've known each other since kindergarten, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
We never really hung out before. Like,
No, I always thought you were a little weird.
yeah, I was a little weird. I
Yeah.
still am a little. See, I was a little weird. Now I'm a lot weird.
Yeah, but
I'm just very good at hiding it.
I like to think I'm a lot weird too.
A lot weird.
A lot weird.
Little a lot weird.
I thought of that before I even said it, and I went with it because it just sounded so
It
good.
just sounds right.
But,
Yeah, we never really hung out through like all of school. Our parents were pretty good friends though.
Of course, it was a small town.
Small town, and my parents. Sorry, my parents are friends with everybody.
Fun fact: his mother is actually a teacher, and she taught us second grade. Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Second grade, yes. Best teacher ever. Shoutouts to Maxine Norn.
Yeah.
I had to think of her first name because I just want to say Miss Norn.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents are ridiculously involved with this community. Like they always have been. Like, I'm pretty sure they like helped run Beef and Barley Days for a few years there.
It's our local festival.
Yeah, they ran like the baseball tournaments. Having fun trying to catch those fruit flies.
I don't know where they're coming from, but I'm trying to take it out. It's landing on my mic, and I'm trying not to make it sound. So I'm like carefully pinching the freaking bugs, but they keep flying away.
You need some chopsticks, man.
Ooh, I'm just
Mr. Miyagi, that shit.
Great start, guys. Great start here.
Oh, fantastic. But yeah, like my parents were always really involved in the community. I think my dad was president of the minor hockey league here for a while. But yeah, like as a result, like I am the most antisocial person you can imagine.
I'm the second most antisocial person.
Yeah. So having parents that know everybody was a little weird. like I kept to myself, didn't talk to everybody. Everybody else knew me. Everybody else knew who I was. It was the most bizarre thing. Really, really handy in certain situations though. Like my parents have connections, basically. When they built their last house there.
Connections.
Yeah. When they built their last house here, I think a contractor priced it out at $500,000 just by contracting it out to like themselves, to friends and family, because they know they know a bunch of people who are in the trades. So they just contracted it out to like friends and family for half that price. The house they're living in now, they built themselves for half the price they would have had to pay.
Wow.
Just because they knew everybody who could do it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm having a really hard time. I peed before the podcast started, but I really should blow my nose because I'm feeling congested right now, and you may hear me snorting and hacking up. I'm just trying to clear myself.
Would you like to like take a minute to go blow your nose?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep rolling with it. When I start sounding really phlegmy, then maybe that'll be the time I should take a break. But for now, hold on.
So if he suddenly goes quiet, oh God, that's terrible. Warn me before you do that, man.
Okay, hold on. Wash down with some beer.
Jesus Christ! Next time you do that, let me know so I can turn off your microphone. It was terrible.
Yeah, I forgot that was an option.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Guys, I'm all cleared up. Anyways, so enough of this boring background stuff. These podcasts, mainly, as of right now, they're just forms of us just to banter on about whatever comes to our minds.
We're just gonna bullshit.
We don't really have, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Itinerary?
Yeah, good word. That can be our podcast word of the day. Itinerary. $
10 word for a 5-cent person.
Ooh, okay, that hurt a little. That was an insult, right?
That was an insult to me.
Oh.
Self-deprecating humor, man.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I'm excellent at it.
Honestly,
I mean, no, I'm not. I'm terrible at it.
Especially this podcast.
Such an idiot.
It's, you know, just sit there and drink your beer.
Yeah.
As far as this podcast,
Sit here and drink my beer and hate myself. I'm sorry.
One more time.
What?
I swear, one more time. Talk over me. Just, I dare you.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I have no control over whose microphone's on, so nothing. Anyways, I'm all bark, no bite. This first podcast.
What do you mean Barks has bite?
Now you're just gonna piss me off. It's just us talking, getting a feel for this. You know, I'm sure we'll introduce segments maybe the farther we get down.
Yeah. We're gonna do the movie thing.
Yeah, we are. We haven't really gotten into details about that as far as what we want, but a lot towards, you know, finding a movie, commentating. Well, we'll see if you guys think our commentary is worth listening to anyways. But
the plan is, we were going to do it today. We didn't end up having time to go see it.
Because somebody didn't finish cleaning the room.
Yeah.
That somebody's me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We were going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy. I've already seen it. You have not.
No. I already know I love it.
Yeah, it's excellent. And I was going to go take him to see it so then we could have a little segment where we talk about it. And so yeah, I think that's a thing that we're going to try to plan to do is just whenever there's a new exciting movie come out, we're going to go see it and like the day of the podcast, we're going to go see it. And then we're just going to like sit down and probably wait until like the end of the podcast so that you know, we can freely talk about spoilers and people can, you know, leave at that point if they want to because it's the end of the podcast. But, yeah, I think that's one of the things we're going to try to do. Probably do that next week for Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I mean, we're going to be about 2-3 weeks behind the curve of everybody else, but, you know.
It gives everyone a chance to actually watch it before us.
Yeah, totally.
The other thing that this podcast really want to implement is having a different person each episode.
We're gonna try to have guests. We make no promises,
yeah,
but we're gonna try.
Not guests. We're not interviewing these people.
No.
Well, you know, we'll ask them the odd question, but it's more or less a third
guest hosts.
Exactly.
Yes.
Guest host. We have a few people in mind. We have a few people who we know would like to be on this podcast. If you're listening to this and you know us, and you think, oh, I want to be on that podcast. They sound so cool.
Or if you know, you're like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, that's all right. They could use something better. Then you know what? Give us a shout. Facebook us. Tweet us. Phone us if you know us. And we can set something up. You know, if we like you and we think you're worth having. If we don't like you, and,
then we'll bring you on anyways and just
your face if we don't like you. We won't.
I will.
Your camera just died, by the way.
Oh. Yeah, that's
so
surprising.
We're officially off the script as far as recording. So
yeah.
Whatever happens here, visually, no one will ever see for the rest of their life.
Yeah, no more behind the scenes footage for today.
Yeah, and just like that, my pants are off.
Yeah, I would too, but this is a leather couch, and that's just.
Yeah, that's a little too sweaty.
I need the baby powder.
Gross. So
you started it, not me. You're the one with your pants off.
Yeah, they're just around my ankles right now. Just letting things blow through. I forgot to wear underwear today. I apologize in advance. But
in advance? What do you mean?
Yeah, they're already off. I apologize for the bad dreams you're gonna have tonight and every other night for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're drinking Gatorade right now. Obviously, you didn't understand the rules of the podcast. This isn't Gatorade night, okay?
I'm just trying to work through a headache, man.
If it's not Beavertail Raspberry Ale from the Grizzly Paw, brewed in Canmore, Alberta, you're not drinking it. That's a rule. You implemented this rule, you're going to fall through. Right now I have it in a glass and in the bottle. I don't know which one I want to drink for that. Anyway, so, again, this podcast is more or less us just talking, getting a feel for things.
Anyways, I think we've said that about 5 times. So how about we move on?
I don't think they realize how unplanned this podcast is.
We are. I meant to write up a list of talking points, but
I came up with 2, and honestly, they're not even that good talking points.
Yeah.
I just felt if I didn't bring something.
I swear to God, we're gonna need to be next time.
Yeah. One thing that is kind of funny, which I'm sure we'll get into these stories sooner than later, is when you have a podcast, your conversations start being based around, is it good enough to be on a podcast, or can I say it right now? So the majority of our stories start with, however a story starts, and quickly after says, oh, actually, no, never mind, I'm going to save it. I'm going to tell
Yeah,
it on the podcast.
a lot of our conversations can be summed up by shut the fuck up, save it for the podcast.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll get into a lot of those stories tonight, but
If we can remember any of them.
more or
We
less, they're
talked
just
about a
lost
lot of
stories.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, thinking back now, actually, but yeah, now our conversations outside the podcast are going to be pretty mediocre. And
Yeah, I think this is really going to be the only time we have to talk.
Honestly, yeah, it's going to be as a podcast up. Yeah, see you next week.
Yeah,
And you know what? That's if it works, it works.
it
Right?
works. Yeah.
We'll come up with ideas behind the scenes.
I mean, we live like 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true as well. So any stories we really want to get into right away?
Well, I have one. Not really a story, but
Talking point.
Talking point.
Let's hear it.
Talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt is absolutely.
I love him. I'm not gonna lie.
Chris Pratt is so hot right now. Like everybody is talking about him. He is just like he's everywhere right now. And one video that's been kind of catching attention. We're a bit late on this because it already got covered on the Philly D show. So we're a bit late.
The people who listen to this won't listen to it. Well, they might, but
They might.
But
I mean, like it's kind of everybody's talking about it, and like now, anyways. So we're a bit behind on the curve. That's the problems with a weekly format.
anyway,
But there was a video that came out a little while ago of Chris Pratt he was doing a radio interview, and he was talking about how he was a big growing up he was a big fan of Eminem.
Yeah.
And yeah, you saw the video where he starts rapping.
Every format of it.
Did you see the remix of it?
Yep.
Where they put the beat over it?
Yep.
That is amazing. And as someone who has worked with video editing, After Effects and all that, just and the guy who was talking about the work he did into that took, I can't remember what he said, but that took hours of work. Because if you I'll be putting the links to both of them. But if you watch, in the original video, his timing's off. He's not he's not fully into it. He's just kind of rattling off the lyrics just to show that he remembers them. But to sync them up with the music, he had to time stretch the entire thing and cut it up so it actually fit with the beat.
That's good. See, look at that. You have a different perspective. You're looking behind the scenes kind of thing.
I'm a very technical person.
See, I'm all about holy crap, what can't Chris Pratt do?
Yeah.
He is, I don't know, he is the male Jennifer Lawrence.
It is hilarious you say that because that is I've been seeing that analogy all over the goddamn place.
Honestly, could you imagine what their babies look like?
Oh my god, that'd be...
He right now is the last thing I think about before I go to bed at night. I'm not gonna lie, guys. He's so cool. But the other thing is I want to mention is, have you seen that video of him braiding the girl's hair? I think it was an ET. Was it ET or E? No, I don't know. One of those stupid shows. He was interviewed.
Probably E.
And they got.
I think ET is the alien.
No, there's an ET. Entertainment Tonight. That's a show.
Okay.
That's a show. I think my mom watches it.
I don't watch that stuff.
Well, me neither, but at least I know it exists. Anyways, it's him. I don't know how they get the topic of it, but they talk about French braiding for some reason, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can do it, right?" And the guy was like, "Oh really?" So they bring in an intern, and during the whole interview, have you seen this yet?
No.
The whole interview, he's sitting there French braiding this girl's hair, talking to the interviewer it's nothing, and of course it comes out flawless.
Yeah.
I've never wanted my hair French braided so bad before. I might grow it out just so one day Chris Pratt can French braid it for me. Chris, if you're listening here, we'd love to have you on as a guest.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to grow my hair out as long as possible. But there was something else I was gonna say. Did you know who he's married to, by the way?
Yes, fucking Anna Faris.
Yeah,
that
scary movie chick. I
did
not know that.
She's super hot.
That blew my mind. She's very mousy.
Yeah.
I don't say that's a bad thing.
No.
Shout out to all those mice out there, but
shout out to you, Mouse.
Yeah, you Mouse, the one mouse who's listening to us right now.
I know somebody that I call Mouse. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, shout out to you.
Are they gonna listen? Is it a guy or a girl?
Girl.
Is she listening?
Probably.
You better be.
She's the one that asked the question.
Oh, shit. Oh, another thing. Wait, sorry. Tangents. Well, we're done talking about Chris Pratt, anyways. We'll talk more about him next week when we review. Well, not review. When we banter around about the galaxies of the Guardians.
Yes.
Yes, the Galaxy of the Guardians. Another thing we did just for fun. First podcast.
First podcast, even though nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows us, and
we have zero audience to ask this question to.
And it shows.
But we did anyways. We just like, hey, if you got questions for us, just
Yeah, for fun. I have Facebook friends, people like that. We didn't tell them what the questions were for because this podcast is kind of like a surprise. We want to have the first episode ready to be listened to before we say it, just so that people don't have to get wait and lose interest. But
we don't want to have a hype question for something that doesn't deliver.
Exactly, and let's just say
we don't want to pull a Daikatana. That's a reference you do not know.
I do not know what that means at all, so I'm just gonna wave over it like it didn't exist.
I'll talk about it after. But...
Oh, lovely. Okay, let's just say our question that we posted out, as expected, didn't really receive much result, but in a little bit we'll get into a few questions that people did ask us and try and avoid being racist and inappropriate as much as possible, because let's just say we
live in the Texas of Canada.
Yeah,
there's a lot of racist hicks here.
No, I wouldn't call them racist hicks. They're more the people that know what we're doing, just deciding to fuck with us.
Yeah.
And whenever they ask a question, we will answer them. So, anyways, we'll get into that in a minute here. I think you have something you have to talk about. But...
just because we brought up the questions, I'll just.
Do you want to just dive into that right now?
I'll just dive into.
Okay, you do your questions, and I'll do the ones I received.
Yeah, we don't have to do all of them right away, but I figured just because I mentioned it, I brought it up. I'll do this one.
Fair enough.
Because it's the only response that I got back so far. Sorry, Mouse, but I'm not gonna say it how you wrote it. I'm just gonna talk normally. How about you talk about the superior breakfast food? No, not the waffle. No, not the pancake. And no, not the toaster strudel. The crumpet is the superior breakfast food.
See, that question sounds a little biased. It's almost like she answered it for us, and she wants us to back her up.
She does that, yeah.
Well,
what do you think? What do you think about the crumpet? Is the crumpet
honestly, hands down, 6 o'clock in the morning. Actually, no, that's not true. When I wake up early, I don't eat breakfast. Okay, it's 10 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm getting out of bed, feeling a little tired from the night before, and I say, what do I want in my stomach right now? The first answer, you think, oh, bacon, obviously, right? Well, bacon's good, but you have to cook bacon. You go into the, pantry, you grab a crumpet, grab 2, grab 3. I like 4 of them myself, personally. I'm a bit of an indulger sometimes when no one's around. Throw them in the toaster, you take them out, you spread peanut butter on them. There's nothing better. You get the crunchy peanut butter and the little bits of peanut fall in the holes of the crumpet. Like, that is honestly, that's the reason why we were put on this earth. To enjoy
peanut butter crumpets.
The crunchy peanut butter spread over a nice toasted crumpet. So, Mouse, I have to agree with you on that one. Bacon, I love, and there will always be a spot in my heart for bacon. But if someone else is cooking it, then I'm going bacon. But
that's a compelling argument.
Yeah, and you know what? Splashback, you don't get grease spat at you when you cook crumpets, right?
Real men cook bacon shirtless.
Yes, real men have someone else cook bacon for them because they're too lazy.
Yeah, I haven't cooked anything in like a year.
Yeah, I'm not much for cooking. What's your opinion on crumpets?
The crumpets. Personally, for me, I'm all about either French toast or croissants because apparently the French just make delicious breakfast.
I don't really like croissants.
I think croissants are delicious. The funny thing is, I actually never really ate croissants until I went to France.
You went to France?
Yeah, dude. The high school Europe trip that everybody went on.
Oh, right. I was supposed to go on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent my money on other stuff. See, I don't know. As far as pastries and the grains, I prefer a rubbery texture versus a flaky. That sounds weird, but...
That sounds very, very weird.
Crumpets,
please continue.
They just... I'm more looking back at the crumpet thing versus a croissant now. This has turned into quite the... We're just going to put these head to head right now.
Such a riveting discussion right now.
I heard that through my. These headphones don't pick up much, but they pick that up. Crumpets versus croissants. Let's make a game of this. You know, we don't
Okay.
have anything better to talk about. I'm
For
gonna
now.
defend crumpets. You're gonna talk about croissants, and we're gonna see who comes out on top. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll go first with this. Croissants are French. That's my argument. You go.
Croissants can be cheese croissants.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
You know what? My problem is the world's problem now. Exactly. So, anyways, what we learned out of that is go buy yourself a pack of crumpets.
What we learned from that is I'm a terrible debater.
Yeah.
I am a master debater, though.
Really? You made that joke? Gross. Yeah, so everyone go right now. If you're listening to this, you know, during the day, morning, dinner, go buy yourself a pack of crumpets, share them with your family, and just enjoy what God put on this earth. And by God, I mean Dempsters. Okay, so that question has been answered, Mouse. Thank you for submitting it. That was who submitted it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's our one question we got. Okay, I'm going to bring up now. I'm just going to take a look here. I have to get out back. You know, let's bring this up. I didn't prepare myself here. Let's bring out the few questions I got. Let's just get them off.
Let's get them out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna start with the first question I received. I don't know if I should use names or not. Maybe for now we're gonna leave names out of this just in case. But
that and it's only like 3 people that ask questions.
Yeah, and those 3 people.
They know you. You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. You know, guys. Shout out, guys. Keeping it real. Okay, the first question was AC/DC or Metallica. And another, see, this is why I kind of want to discuss the alcohol we have today because it's kind of fitting for this question. But how far are you into yours?
I am not very far at all.
Well, you need to drink fast. I'm not very far either. But we have to get at least 2 of these through. You know, I think it's a good goal here. Let's just, I'll talk, you pound it back. When you talk, I pound it back, okay? Because I'm going to bring out this second little can of alcohol we found. It's actually a pretty big can. It's kind of getting warm now. We found AC/DC Australian Hard Rock Beer. I've never heard of this before. And AC/DC, I mean like AC/DC, like the band AC/DC. It's not
fully like it's branded beer.
Yes.
From Australia that we found in a Canadian liquor store.
Yeah, and I've never heard of it. Let's just take a look at the can here. Brewed by Brasserie Lyric Curinin.
Sound it out.
And then a bunch of other languages. Under license to Live Nation merchandise. See, so yes, this isn't officially AC/DC licensed can, but we'll get into that once we finish our Beaver beer. But as far as the actual question, AC/DC or Metallica, I have to go AC/DC here.
Yeah, I don't really. That's a tough one. They're both
very popular and good.
They're both kind of on the same level for me. I enjoy both of them, but to me they're like the generic bands.
Ooh, you just lost like 10 listeners. Right
Oh, I know. Like I said, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. They are like they're good bands. They have excellent songs.
Popular.
Yeah, they're popular. They have excellent songs. I don't know. Maybe that's just they're oversaturated. I just don't really find anything too special about them. Nothing really they don't catch my interest as much as other bands do.
Yeah, and the thing, my opinion on this, I'm gonna say this. I know I get flack, and I'm not shy about this or like keep it to myself, but I don't like Metallica. I like one Metallica song, which is a cover of another band's song, and that's "Turn the Page." Honestly, only Metallica I like, and it's not. I'm nothing against the band; like they're talented.
Just not for you.
They're not my type of music.
No, I'm the same way about a lot of. I guess I could say I'm the same way about a lot of like metal.
I don't like any metal.
I enjoy metal, but there's a lot of stuff like my roommate listens to a lot of stuff like Five Finger Death Punch and like Korn and stuff like that.
Just another funny thing about Five Finger Death Punch is, again, I like one of their songs,
and it's a cover
of another song.
I know exactly what song you're talking about.
Bad Company.
Yeah.
Their version is absolutely amazing, and it's
They
one of my
it's
favorite
excellent.
songs.
Like that's the thing. Like they like stuff like Five Finger Death Punch, like As I Lay Dying. They're like I think they're excellent bands. They make excellent music, but I don't do angry music. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that like I can't relate to it. So it's like I just listen to it. And I'm like, eh. I don't know, it just doesn't really do anything for me.
I actually, at my last job, I used to work at an HMV. Actually,
I just can't relate to angry music. I'm not an angry person.
And 3/4 of the people I worked with there were metalheads.
Oh yeah.
And I asked them, I was like, so what do you see in this music? And they said, you know what, it gets me pumped up, and it just doesn't have an effect on me.
Yeah.
I love all music, with very few exceptions, metal being one of those. But I can't relate to it. I have nothing against the genre. I know I may say like, oh, it sounds terrible and all sounds the same, but each band is unique and
it's up to the band, not the genre.
Yeah. Well, I can't stop burping every time I talk. Just burps come out. But as far as AC/DC, I never really liked them either. But over the last little while, they've just grown up. They're one of those bands that
they're classic songs. I honestly I like all the songs they've done except the album they put out a few years back. That
this is my rule of thumb. Any band or artist that's considered a classic, I don't listen to their new stuff.
Yeah.
That may make me
after Guns N' Roses and that whole Chinese Democracy debacle. God damn.
I don't even know what that
are you familiar? I think it's called Chinese Democracy. I can't remember. This was a while ago now. Like, surprisingly long time ago. Guns N' Roses came out with an album like their first album in 10 years, and like all the fans were excited for it. And I guess it's pretty much universally hated. Like it's just a terrible album.
Did they experiment?
I can't really I never actually listened to it myself.
Sorry, when you say that, the first thing that comes to mind is Africa Child. From Getting to the Greek.
Oh, I don't know the song. I just play the drums and do the African face.
That's my favorite line from that whole movie.
But yeah, like that album was like the Duke Nukem Forever of music. It's probably another reference. You probably don't really.
I get that reference. I've never played Duke Nukem, but I get that reference.
You get that reference.
Long awaited and just didn't deliver.
Did deliver in more ways than one.
So let's sum this question up now. AC/DC, Metallica. I'm AC/DC. What are you?
I'd probably lean more towards AC/DC. They just have more songs that I like and that I know.
You can't not stomp and tap your feet to Thunderstruck, right?
Yeah,
At the end of the day.
Totally.
So, okay, well, we have that question in the bag. We have a few more. Now, these questions kind of skewer into different directions, but they're asked, so we will answer them. That's our promise. We don't promise much, but that's one of them. Butter or margarine?
Huh.
See, now, I'm just going to answer mine right away. As I said earlier, I'm lactose intolerant, so instantly I'm on the margarine side. All my crumpets, if it ain't peanut butter, it's margarine.
All right. Myself, I like to take I can't believe it's not butter and mix it with butter to make I can kind of believe some of this is butter. Shout out to Dimitri Martin for that joke.
Oh, I thought you came up with that.
I wish I came up with that.
You should have said that.
I'm sorry. I can't steal jokes
That's
like
fair.
knowingly and not credit.
That was still pretty funny though. So your answer though?
That was my answer.
Okay, that's for me. Those type of questions get those type of answers.
Yeah, totally.
We're on to our next question. Is your favorite car? Again, people really dug in the archives for these questions. My favorite car is, again, I'll be honest. I'm not sounding like much of a man tonight here, but between my obsession with Chris Pratt, my dislike for metal music, I'm just gonna keep rolling with that. I could care less about cars. I've never been into cars.
Okay, I'm gonna name drop here, but Aaron, the guy who asked that question, really doesn't know who he's asking here.
Yeah. At least he put in a question.
He put in a question. Thank you for that. But you're asking the wrong people here, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh my god, dude.
It's coming out of me. Continue.
I don't know. Like personally, like I guess how most people like how most guys like respond to like nice cars. I respond that way to like computer equipment or like sound hardware.
Yeah,
Like
I'm like that with.
I'm a geek at heart. Like that's the kind of stuff I go for. Cars, I'm. It's not that like I don't like them or I don't care. I I guess I'm just a little indifferent. I do actually have a favorite car.
Oh,
To be honest, the only reason that this is my favorite car is because,
is it PT
again,
Cruiser?
of video games. No,
Oh,
the PT
kidding. Okay, just go on.
PT Cruiser should be like destroyed.
Oh, harsh.
That is the ugliest fucking car in existence. No, I take that back. The ugliest cars in existence
The
are those
Cube.
the cubes.
Mm-hmm.
Those I they like I don't know who first started doing that. But then like all the big fucking companies started following suit and they are the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. Anyways, onto my thing. I do have a favorite car. To follow up with the geek thing, it's only my favorite car. Like I really only know of it. It's my favorite because of video games. Like I spent a lot of time playing like Need for Speed Underground and like Most Wanted and stuff like that. The Mitsubishi Eclipse around the 2006 era, like just like the stock orange color and like that like nice like the curved bumper. It just looks really cool to me. Like there's just something about that car that just like makes me think like that is fucking badass.
Interesting. I cannot pick that card of line, but my favorite car, honestly, I drive an '06 Kia Sorento, and it's pretty good. Like that's I could tell you my favorite car color
Yeah.
better than I could tell you my favorite car.
Oh, totally.
And for the record, that's burnt orange. Beautiful color.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, if I'm ever rich, if this podcast ever gets famous enough that Joe Rogan wants to, you know, like take us under his wing, and I can afford a nice car, I'll go out there and I'll buy an Audi or however you want to pronounce it.
I have been any.
Yes, so do I. I don't know. I like SUVs. Let's put it that way.
I don't give a shit as long as it gets me from point A to point B.
Yeah.
As long as it just does what it needs to do, I could really care less.
We should just make this a show about cars.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so
like I feel the same way about cars that I think most people like most. Oh my god!
It went through my nose and it hurt.
I feel the same way about cars that I feel most technically illiterate people feel about computers.
Yeah,
like
as
long as it does what I need to do, I don't need to know about all the fancy fucking.
Yeah, and honestly, I think as far as comparing things, I don't know where my passion lies. I like the electronical stuff, but at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to set up my computer, not me. I really like guitars and like musical stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even brands there, I'm just not a brand person. Like
I am not a brand person at all. I've never shopped at West 49 or like.
You think West 49's brand name? Ooh.
Like I mean like I've never owned like fucking
True Religion jeans and stuff.
Yeah, like
you know, actually
I shop at Warehouse 1.
I'm Marks, but
yeah, Marks and Warehouse 1.
I went through that phase that most kids go to. Some of them earlier than others, but you get in the phase where you know, Mom, if we're going after school shopping, I want Quicksilver and DC. If it's anything else, I don't want it. Right?
Yeah. See me, not me. My entire life, I've avoided like the Quicksilver, the DC, the Element, the Enjoy. I've avoided all of that.
I think it should be noted that right now you're wearing a yellow Pikachu shirt, which I appraise you.
This is the shit I rock. I don't rock like Element or fucking.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because I was always that
Billabong.
way in,
I rock
Pikachu
school. Shirts.
Yeah, I want to
Pikachu shirts and Star Wars belts. That's what I'm rocking.
And honestly, that's even cooler than name brand. And I kind of went through that phase in middle school and even a little into high school. But at this point now, I have a defined sense of style. I think if people know me, they have a good understanding on what I'm going to be wearing and what kind of clothes I like. And I don't care where I get them. You know, I still don't like to shop at Walmart just because I guess I still hold a little bit of that prejudice against cheap, crappy clothes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I see a shirt I like, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm saying that as I'm wearing an Element shirt, and actually, no, these pants are from Mark's Work Warehouse. So
yeah,
sorry, Mark's. They dropped the Work Warehouse.
Yeah. They've rebranded. But
actually, I don't. Is that a Canadian store? I don't know if
I have no idea.
I don't know. You know, if you're listening to this and you're out of Canada, let us know. Is there a Mark's or Mark Work Warehouse where you live? Like,
I think
let's get the audience involved.
I think it's the same as like there's a lot of people in the States that don't know Canada doesn't have Del Tacos.
Yeah, we have like one Del Taco and like 1,000 miles.
I've never seen a Del Taco. Airdrie has a Del Taco?
Oh, no, that's a Taco Del Mar.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like Del Taco. That's like that is apparently everywhere in the States.
You
but, like,
say like Del Taco, and it gives me diarrhea just thinking about it. Like Taco Bell, yeah, it's good, but ugh.
Yeah, we don't even have what's good about Taco Bell, man.
Yeah, I'm not Taco Bell.
We don't have the Baja Blast, man.
What's that?
It's like a soda.
Oh, really?
It's the only reason I'd go to Taco Bell, and we don't have it.
So to sum up our question or our answers for favorite car, I think our answer is we don't really like taco chains in Canada. So that's our answer for that.
For what was the question?
Yeah, favorite car.
Yes.
Yeah, tangents. Okay. That's gonna be our thing is tangents. Don't expect answers.
We should rename this thing to Tangents in a Shot at Tequila. No, not really. But that does sound kind of cool. But
tangents could be a form of setback. I think between the burps, the snorting my freaking lungs out, the tangents, everything, it's just they're all setback. We're keeping with the theme of the show. Okay, guys, so we're just gonna dive right into the next question. This is kind of where things take a bit of a turn for the worse. I'm gonna say these questions. I'm not gonna necessarily answer them for the sake of being a decent person, but least favorite race of people. Now, I know this question was asked because the person who asked it knows exactly why I asked the question, but
it's all about those damn spinnakers, man.
What's a spinnaker?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, my answer is gonna be next question. Okay, see, these questions don't get any
Just
better.
moving on.
Yeah. Making out or oral pleasure? What's your opinion?
Same thing, man.
Well, my answer to that, it's an interesting answer. You automatically think oral pleasure, obviously, right? But there's something about making out that it's not something you can do with a stranger. It's different between a stranger and, somebody you actually care about, right? With oral pleasure, it doesn't matter. You close your eyes, it could be anyone. But making out, there's that connection that you can feel, and it's different for each person you do it with. So I have to go making out here. I'm just gonna be, that guy, that nice guy who thinks that's more romantic. But are you texting right now?
No.
Sorry, am I boring you with this commentary?
No. I was looking to see if anybody posted more questions.
Of course they did. No one cares. How's your beer going over there? This podcast ain't
still
over.
there.
We're done this in our ACDC. That's
boy. Okay. Okay, that's why I gotta pee, man.
A point of reference here. He is just past the neck of his bottle, and I've got about an inch left in mine. Keep in mind that these bottles are bigger than usual bottles. But anyways, yeah, some of the question.
I'm like Pavlov's dog when it comes to beer, man. I need pounding music for me to be able to pound back a beer.
He's pounding his beer back as we do this, by the way. I keep in mind that I keep forgetting that. Yeah, there we go. See? Just
apologies. Holy shit.
I'll carry the conversation for the next 5 minutes while you catch up to where I am. So, back to the question. I have to go with the making out thing, because if it's with the right person, there's just that spark that you find, and you know what? Nothing beats that, right? Oral pleasure is great, but I need that spark. And you're shaking your head at me.
It's just riveting conversation.
Well, finish your beer. Like, Jesus Christ. So that's my answer to that question. Obviously, you're I'm not getting either, so you don't really have an opinion. No, kidding. I'm not getting any either. Our next question here from the same asker: tsunami or Category 5 earthquake?
Huh.
And, yeah, you know,
That is...
I'm gonna go current events here. I know we're trying to keep this podcast relevant to all around the world, but there was actually keep in mind we're in Alberta, okay? Alberta, if you don't know, is what you should know. Come on, guys, like it's basic. That was a burp. Basic geology, guys.
I don't think our lovely listeners down in like Norway know where Alberta is.
If we have listeners in Norway, then they get a get out jail free card for that. Because if you're listening and you're from Norway, high five, guys. Like you're awesome. Anyways, back to the as Alberta is the second province in like I'm thinking like Pacific Ocean here. Everyone knows where Canada is, right? So on the far left side here by the Pacific Ocean, we have British Columbia. Next to that is Alberta. So we're
between that is a mountain range.
Yes, keep that in mind. So Alberta is made up of mountains and plains, pretty much. That's basically what Alberta is made out of. And as of today, which is what is this August 9th, 2014, there was a Category 4 earthquake near Rocky Mountain House, which is
really
yeah. You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
See, there's a lot to talk about though, because some people say that
Holy
it was actually
shit.
a plant exploded. So it's kind of that's the local conversation.
I'm better keeping up at like news that happens around the world rather than like up close.
I got this from my Facebook, but anyways, so
see,
which is interesting because again, earthquakes are more closer to the ocean. And I think that's why they don't usually happen in
Well, earthquakes, it depends on the fault lines.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily. I guess they can happen in mountain ranges, can't they? I don't know. I'm no geology expert.
Me neither. We might sound really stupid right now.
It's okay.
Whatever.
There's a lot of podcasts that do that where
they don't know.
They talk authoritatively on like stuff, and then it turns out they're completely wrong.
Whatever. At least we admit we're wrong. But
we're not a science podcast.
No. Anyways, to answer this question, tsunami or Category 5 earthquake, I have to go earthquake, I think. Assuming that we were in a place that could have either.
Yeah. That is...
I wouldn't want either. Let's say that.
Yeah, let's preface this. I wouldn't want either. I'd say...
Is Category 5, like, really bad?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm no fucking expert. I don't know how they rate this thing. I've never experienced an earthquake.
Me neither. I feel like
I was really disappointed when I went to California and didn't experience an earthquake. I'll be completely honest.
Terrible thing to say.
I know, but like, I'll be honest. I was kind of hoping I'd experience like just a tiny one, just a tremor.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of fans in California now. I'm just gonna go with earthquake because I feel that's something I could deal with better than tsunami.
Well, I'm gonna say tsunami just to be different.
Well, there you go. So we haven't answered that question. This brings us to our last question: Team Turtleneck or Team Helmet Head? What's a helmet head? That's pretty much.
I think he's trying to go for something dirty. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I'm gonna Google it right now. What's that mean? What's that sound mean? Helmet head. It's an Urban Dictionary.
That's why I kind of figured it sounds like something dirty.
So helmet head, a hairdo made after wearing a helmet.
Oh,
Somewhere to
well,
usually messier.
See, I knew that definition, but I just Urban Dictionary. That's not where I expected it to go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have context now, so going back in the conversation.
I'm all about the turtlenecks, man.
Yeah, that's obvious. Turtlenecks help keep you warm. Helmet head's that's just bad hair. Like
you get like a nice like black turtleneck. It's like a tactical turtleneck.
Or just even
a tactile neck, if you will.
Do they still have Dickies? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Do you even know what Dickie is?
Maybe.
It's pretty much a turtleneck that is the neck part, and then a little bit of fabric, so it looks like you're wearing a full turtleneck, but it ends at your nipples.
Oh yeah.
Ever watch Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Howard, that's like his signature look. That's where I learned what Dickie is. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
I have not. I haven't really watched Big Bang Theory since like the second season.
No, it's a good show. A good show.
You just lost a bit of credibility by saying that. Just so you know.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
No, I enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with it. What is there something that's terrible? Am I missing something here?
Oh yes, you are.
Explain it.
It's pretty much just goes with the discussion that all TV is terrible.
No, see, I didn't say
sitcoms
that.
are terrible. It's
your opinion.
The canned laughter, the forced jokes.
See, I disagree on that part. There is good television, and they're just different medias. I tend to lean towards more YouTube and
not even that, but like among television, it's Big Bang Theory is considered like lowbrow.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess I'm considered lowbrow then.
I guess. I'm just saying. Like I'm not judging.
I'm
just
feeling
saying.
the judgment right now.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying you lost a bit of credibility by saying the Big Bang Theory is good television.
I lost credibility after the first reference you said went over my head. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the first
reference.
This
is the other thing about it. We have very different.
We are very different people.
Very different. I think that'll work.
Yeah, it's a nice group dynamic.
Exactly, a group dynamic. A group dynamic with two people. I get my words mixed up a lot, guys. Get used to it. And yeah, his type of people, or the people that he brings into this podcast, or the people that relate to him more, will not relate to me. It's kind of a black and white kind of effect, you know.
Yeah.
And there's people that'll side with me more that kind of take your side as kind of the different perspective, and that's kind of what we knew that going into this. That's how it's going to be, and I think that's why the two of us will work well. Because we have very different perspectives and opinions on things.
It allows for discussion.
Exactly, and that's what podcasts are. Just discussions.
Yeah, totally.
I swear to God, do you have to go pee again?
No. I'm saying that I had something that I was gonna say and I can't. I hate that. Like you have something that like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this, but then the discussion goes somewhere else.
Oh yeah, I hate
and
that. Actually, speaking of that, there's one thing that I hate more, and this happens to me. It feels more often than not. Is you're in a group setting and a topic comes up, kind of like the podcast, where you have the perfect thing to say.
You have the perfect segue
to add to the conversation, and the conversation moves so fast that you just never get your break in. See, the thing is, most people come to terms with that, but I'm the type of person that will bring that conversation back to the point where
like a month later.
Yeah, honestly, like it could be like 20 minutes later, and I'm sitting here, I was like, so, like about that thing we were talking about earlier, and everyone kind of like...
Everybody's completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid to bring that conversation back, because I'm one of those people that I can't sit on something. If I have to say something...
I hate sitting on stuff like that.
Well, here's your opportunity. We'll
That's the thing, I can't...
this back to...
I have a terrible memory, so I can't remember what I was trying to say anyway.
Should we just relay everything we've talked about in this podcast so far?
Yeah, let's review the tapes for a minute. Let's pause this and...
No, let's just start from the beginning. Okay, guys, hey, welcome to our very first podcast. Kidding.
So, what's our timer at right now?
We're
at slightly late timer.
50, yeah, our timer, we started late, and then we had some delays in the middle. We're at 56 minutes right now.
That is a lot better than I thought we'd do.
Yeah, going into this,
I thought we would have completely run out of topics by now.
I actually had a dream a little while ago after we decided we were going to have a podcast that we completely ran out of things to talk about, and we sat there in awkward silence. And
45 minutes.
Yeah, and I have to say, once the drinks start flowing, the conversation starts flowing, the recording is turned on, time just flies by. Like, it's right now 5 after 12.
I can definitely see why the podcasts I listen to run like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of thinking, how do they last an hour? Because when I listen to a podcast that's an hour long, it feels like forever. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's because I break them up or if I'm driving. I listen to podcasts a lot when I drive.
Okay, fair enough.
But it just feels like they drag on. But this, like, I don't even remember what we talked about during this podcast.
Yeah, honestly, neither can I.
But we're about reaching our hour mark here. I think we're a little over at this point, but how do you think this first podcast went?
It's going pretty well. I don't think we're ready to end it just yet.
No, me neither. But like, as we're just gonna take a break and we're gonna
Yeah.
reflect on what we've.
This is definitely. Yeah, I think this is going pretty well. This is definitely a thing I can see us doing, like, regularly.
Yeah, and we have some things to work on, but at the same time, I feel like something someone could listen to, right?
None of this feels really forced to me.
Exactly.
I don't know. The conversation just feels pretty natural to me.
And do you know what else isn't forced? The burps.
Oh God.
No. Oh,
I wish it. Oh, why? Oh.
We're back.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
I'm sorry. The timer's off anyway. I started it like 15 minutes into the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what I wanted. I wanted a conversation recorded. I didn't want, and I'm not gonna bite my tongue here or anything, but like, not saying like I don't want to do interviews or anything, because who knows where this will take us, or where we want to go.
VidCon 2015.
VidCon 2015, yes. But I just want this to be a conversation that the listeners can get involved with. They can relate to. They can laugh.
Yeah.
At some of the things we say. Well, unintentional. I don't know. We're not very good at like scripted.
No, we're unintentional.
The only joke made this whole podcast was not even your own joke.
No.
But I thought it was funny still. But yeah, it's just that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted even in my desire for radio is I wanted recorded conversations.
Yeah.
I wanted a chill, relaxed environment where we can just talk about what we want and have, people listen to us if they want.
But speaking of VidCon 2015,
yes. Hold on before we get into this. Brief people what VidCon is. In case, because a lot of people don't know what
that's going to be part of the conversation.
Okay, don't worry. Then go ahead.
I got this. I'm a professional. I pretend to be a professional.
Yeah, we're actually the most amateur you can get.
Oh my God. At least we have a proper soundboard and everything.
We do have great equipment.
This is a studio environment. There's probably a shit ton of interference running through these microphones right now, because that's where we're amateur. But at least we have the right equipment for this.
Right equipment, wrong people.
Exactly. That's perfect.
It's a learning process.
It's a learning process. This is the pilot episode. Yeah, this is going to teach me a lot about audio engineering, because that's the one thing I'm really behind on.
And
I'm learning pretty quick on video editing, but audio recording, I'm still learning that. But
back to VidCon.
Back to VidCon. I went this past year for the first time. Had the time of my life. For those of you who don't know, VidCon, it's a convention for YouTubers. It's by YouTubers for YouTubers. It's kind of like a multi-level thing. There's the community side where it's people can just come and meet their favorite celebrity YouTubers, come get autographs, shake hands. You can meet other people who do YouTube, networking, connecting. There's industry side of things where you can come and learn about the industry, about learn about marketing your channel, and learn about professional productions and stuff like that. But it's an annual thing it's in Anaheim, and I went this last year, had an absolute blast. I'm definitely going next year. Are you planning on going?
Yes.
Yes. You hope to have somewhat of a regular YouTube channel by then?
Yes. I'm hoping by this time, because that's 10 months from now?
Probably about. I don't think they have a set date each year. I think last year it was in August. This year it was in July. So,
yeah. And
June.
We have 10 months to establish this. I'd like to, if I'm bringing anything to the table as far as VidCon, I'd love to be able to bring this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
My dream is to have all kinds of different people come in, even if we do 20-minute segments, because I know it's a very busy atmosphere.
5-minute segments.
We don't want to spend the whole thing sitting in a hotel room doing podcasts.
No.
I keep that in mind. But I would love to be able to have different people and grow. I think that's a great opportunity. And as much as he is more technical as far as this kind of stuff, I like to think I'm more the public relations, and I'd love to be able to network and get our name out there and get our podcast.
Networking is probably the best part about VidCon. When I was there, like I went to meet YouTubers, I went to like meet up with other people, but the best part of VidCon was the meeting people I've never met before who like do YouTube as well, and just like getting to meet these people and hang out with them. That was fantastic, and like VidCon is great for that. I met so many people down there, and it's just a great opportunity. And like,
well, yeah, some of our listeners to this podcast are people you met through YouTube.
Yeah,
sure. VidCon, not YouTube. I'm not gonna say that like with pure confidence because you never know. No one could listen.
At
to
least
podcast.
one.
There, at least one of them out there. I'm sure will listen, and it's.
But the thing about VidCon is like, I am confident that we would be able to get some people to do interviews.
Totally.
It took me 30 seconds to get somebody like a fairly popular YouTuber to sit down with us for like 40 minutes and play Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
It would be pretty easy. I think it would be pretty easy to get like a 5-minute interview with somebody.
Oh, totally. And we're not limiting ourselves to YouTube. As much as we're familiar with YouTube and it inspired a lot of the things that we're doing now, but it's definitely an avenue that we like to go down because and the thing is, a lot of people listening, like, they don't understand what kind of a culture and what comes out of YouTube, right? People view it as this thing where they watch the odd video that gets posted on Facebook. No one knows about the community.
I wouldn't say like just talking about like people who listen to this, but yeah, like the general public is still very unaware of just how expansive like YouTube and YouTube culture is.
Totally.
YouTube is one of the fastest growing industries in the world right now. It is absolutely insane the amount of reach that YouTube, and like not of course not just YouTube, but just online media,
Internet,
online
pretty
video
much.
in general. Like YouTube is definitely one of like the biggest things out there right now, but like there's still a lot of like,
Yeah, you got your Vine. You got
no, like I'm saying that like if like there are so many people, like there are thousands if not millions of people that are making a living off of making YouTube videos, like being entertainers through the internet. But like you still can't, like you go to like you talk to people who are like in television or filming, like you say like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, I do stuff on YouTube. You still go to that, you still get that like, oh, okay,
Yeah, that's a thing.
yeah, have fun with that, you like
But
little
actually,
kid.
I think now we're at a stage where I don't know how to describe like, but mainstream culture, mainstream entertainment is starting to pick up on what YouTube is producing.
It's definitely picking up on the internet side. It's just starting. It's very slow going, but like the mainstream is definitely becoming slowly aware of like just how big of a powerhouse online is.
Yeah, and the thing about that is we're by no means jumping the gun. Like we're not ahead of the curve here because
No, I'm not saying we're one of those people that are going to be making money off of this. I'm just like, this is just something that I've been thinking about a lot. Like I don't know, like YouTube culture, like online media. It's something that is just interesting to me. So it's something that I can talk about for hours.
Yeah, me too. And I think that's the one thing that kind of brought us together as far as wanting to.
Yeah, we never really talked until we both started making YouTube channels.
Actually, yeah, and that's very true. And through that, we've kind of become sort of business partners in a sense.
Totally.
Friends and partners and this kind of, and it's, again, we're not limiting ourselves to YouTube. Obviously, we're doing podcasts. We want to get.
There's nothing wrong with just expanding and trying everything.
And you know what? And
throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Exactly. That's honestly describing this podcast perfectly.
Perfectly.
But we're not necessarily limiting ourselves. We love, you know what? Honestly, as far as YouTube, from the rest of the world, YouTube is very new. And the people coming out of it are fresh and, you know, new talent, new forms of media. But as far as YouTube in itself, it is so well established that you have the people who are known, and it's very it's I don't know if I'd say it's difficult, but it's very there's a line you have to cross between being anybody and being somebody.
Yeah,
And I don't by no means expect us to ever reach that point because it's just from our
it's unrealistic.
exactly, and we're not. It's not like we're not dreaming, but we're viewing things
There's nothing wrong with
differently.
being ambitious, but we are like two very small fish in a very large ocean. Like
Exactly.
there are so many people. Like we were talking about earlier, the barrier for entry is lower, so there's a lot more people in it.
Yeah.
Like it allows more people to like like express themselves creatively, but there is definitely like a saturation.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like let's players like on YouTube now, like people who play video games, like that there's absolute oversaturation in it because all you need is just a computer, like a semi decent computer and OBS, and you can start making let's plays.
I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. Like I spent some time messing around with that streaming. Like I didn't take it anywhere because again, it was just something I wanted to try.
But it's more how you look at it. You look at it as something fun to do and
Yeah,
something to share.
it's something that I see a lot of people making this mistake in that they start making YouTubes or they start going to like Vine or whatever, more YouTube than anything. In order they see that people are making money off of YouTube
Yeah, they go
and
in there wanting to be the next
yeah,
PewDiePie.
yeah, they want to be the next PewDiePie. They want to be like they want to be making money off of this like immediately, and that's just the wrong way to go about it.
Exactly.
It should be something that like just have fun with it. It should be
Yeah.
it really should be a hobby first, and then like if it becomes a business later, sure, roll with it.
Like honestly, we're not humbling ourselves to the point that we would be happy with no one listening. We're doing this with the intention that hopefully it'll catch on and we'll be able to create this show. Not saying what size we want, but we want to create this on a regular basis because we enjoy doing it and we love to get people involved. Like we're not humbling ourselves to the point like that, but we're also looking at it knowing what to expect and what we should do according to that.
yeah, it's something that there's actually some song lyrics of a song I've been actually listening to a lot lately that kind of relevant right now. I'm actually just looking up.
We're like a 16-year-old girl's Facebook quoting song lyrics.
Totally, but no, it's something
Don't
that
stop believing.
don't stop believing.
Hold on.
I feel comforted in the fact that right now somewhere there is a drunk white girl belting out "Don't Stop Believing."
There's more than one.
That it is a universal constant.
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as this podcast and these beers are finished, I might be belting it up myself.
But yeah, no, there's the song "Strong as Oak" by Watsky. It's a song I've been listening to a lot lately. Has a couple lines in it. It's I'd rather be making the choices I'm proud of than chasing the mountain of money. But if that mountain comes to me, I'm climbing it.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm working a job Monday to Friday, and you know what? I'm climbing the ladder, so to speak, in that job. But at the end of the day, this is the environment I think I thrive in best.
Yeah, this is what I have fun doing.
We're not doing this just for the sake of we're bored. Like we have passions, you could say.
Yeah.
I think passion's a strong passion and having a hobby. There's a fine line between them, but I think it's fair to say. Sorry, I keep.
Yeah, you keep hitting that drum set.
Yeah, there's
and,
a drum set right.
I'm sure it's showing up on the audio.
Well, I'm sorry, I get fidgety, but this is something that I don't know if it's going to be this podcast. I don't know if it's going to be a YouTube video. I don't know if it's one day going to be a radio station or a television show. I don't know. I don't predict the future. No one does. But this is a direction I want to be in. And I think us starting this podcast is a great way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like for me personally, like I've been interested in like this new media, this online media for I can't even really say probably about 4 or 5 years or something. Probably even a little longer than that, but um it's something like I've seen that like making online videos and stuff like that is it is a fast growing industry. It is a thriving industry right now, and it's something that looks exciting to me, and it's something that I want to be a part of. Not even as like I don't even want to be a host or anything. Like if it happens, it happens. But it's not what I'm aiming for. Uh, right now, what I want to try to do with my life, like as a career, is I want to work as like an editor or a cinematographer or just like a compositor for some like some YouTube network.
See, and I find that interesting because I'm again, we're very different. I'm more or less, I want to be the person who's coming up with the ideas of the content. I want to be the person who's, I would love to be a host.
Yeah, no, I would too, but like it's like that's the dream. Like my goals, however, is
They're very different.
yeah, I just want to be part of the industry. I want to be working in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be working for like Discovery Digital or Maker or like Rooster Teeth was the one that actually initially made me kind of realize that like this is an industry. This is something that it is like it is a growing Hollywood of its own,
Exactly.
and it looks exciting.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we're on the right footing here. You know what? We're not gonna name drop here, but along with this podcast, we've come up with our own little 2-person project, you could say, as far as somewhere to post our content, something to be proud of, something that we can show people and say we did this. And it's what, we're in the very beginning stages. We just came up with the name a few days ago, but we're in the process of, and I guess I'm sorry getting off. No, I'm not getting off topic here, but that's kind of out of this. Even if we get 5 listeners per podcast for the next year, it's something that we can something to be proud of.
Yeah, it's something that we're having fun doing, and we're doing it on our own.
And someone asks you, "Oh, well, what have you done?" I can say, "Look at this podcast. Look at these podcasts we've done." And you know what? And at the end of the day, if we're happy with them, that's what we wanted out of
Yeah,
this, right?
absolutely. It kind of reminds me of another thing I saw. I think it was, speaking of like Rooster Teeth. I can't remember if it was on the podcast or if it was like an interview he did. But Bernie Burns, the creative lead of Rooster Teeth, was talking about how like whenever he goes to like conventions and stuff. I think this is on one of their recent podcasts. He was talking about how like he can't really go to conventions and stuff anymore because he just gets a lineup of people, like what everybody else is doing, autographs or whatever, pictures. He gets a lineup of people asking him for a job. Mm-hmm. Like people want to, like there are so many people that just want to work for Rooster Teeth now, because they see what like they see what he's done, and they want to be a part of it, kind of like what I was talking about. And he says that I think he said that if that's the case, if everybody just wants to work for Rooster Teeth, then he didn't do his job right. Mm-hmm. Because Rooster Teeth is something that it started out as just a couple guys just making some bullshit videos out of their bedroom. Mm-hmm. And he says that he hopes that he doesn't want to inspire people to work for him. He wants to inspire people to do the same thing on their own. Yeah, to create their own projects, to create their own businesses, on their own.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what we're doing. That's kind of the underlying.
It's the idea. Yeah.
We want to do this for fun, and we want to do this to entertain people, but at the same time,
it's something that is our own.
Exactly, and I think that's the thing that makes it so special. And we've kind of.
It's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and speaking of fun, we kind of gotten a bit more of a serious note there, but I think it's good. It's good to get a good understanding on where we sit and why we want to do this.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily gonna. Ooh, the fruit flies are gone again.
Just keeping it real on our podcast here.
Exactly. There are 2 on my mic right now. I don't know where they're coming from. I swear there's nothing rotting in this room, but
we need to get Mr. Miyagi in here.
He's a Chinese dude, right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's the guy with the chopsticks.
Yes.
Yeah. See.
Karate Kid, dude.
Yeah, I've never seen the Karate Kid.
What?
Yeah, well, next podcast, let's talk about the Karate Kid after I maybe watch it.
Yeah, no, that is your fucking homework, man. You are watching You haven't seen the original Karate Kid.
No.
That is your homework, man. You were watching that movie, and we were talking about it next week.
That's fair. We'll have a little segment. We'll see if we can follow through. That's something we're practicing here is follow through. And yeah. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. Yeah, we kind of got on a serious tangent there about. I think it was needed to be said. But I think now's a good point to kind of round out this podcast in general. We've been rambling on for a good hour and 20 minutes now, and that's about the time. It goes by so fast, and that's about the time we kind of want for this podcast. Any parting words? Yeah, I know the time.
Jesus Christ!
Every time we look at the clock,
I don't want to go. That's the thing.
I know it's addicting. Like we could sit here all night and just ramble on, but at the same time we could also just record several episodes at once. But no, because we want to keep this relevant.
Yeah, we want to keep it
once a week.
Yeah,
we might do this once a week. No promises.
We're gonna try.
Yeah,
we're gonna try.
But let's round things out on a light note here. We answered some questions. Which, by the way, guys, if you were one of the 5 people that submitted questions, thank you very much. Yeah, 4 people. Some people sent more than one question. Thanks. Some of you knew what this was for. Some of you just wanted to help out. But thanks again, guys, for that, because it gave us something to talk about.
Yeah.
We went on tangents, I'm pretty sure, for everyone. But regardless, I think we got our answers out there.
Yeah.
For future reference, I think maybe once we start generating a bit of an audience, we'll have a specific forum in which we can communicate with them. I don't know if it's going to be through YouTube or if we want to do it through Twitter. How's that?
Probably through Twitter.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what?
It's that time of the night now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's being tired or the alcohol. That's just kind of...
A little bit of both.
Yeah, that's fair.
All I know is that I am not fit to drive right now.
Yeah, but we carried this conversation great. I think Twitter is a good way of doing this.
Twitter's fantastic.
We're not going to get carried away with, sending everyone go follow us on Twitter right now. But I think it's worth putting out there, and I think it'll be listed in our log poo. What was that? What'd you say? Link dump.
What?
Link dump, not log poo.
Log, yes. That's what we're calling it now.
The log poo.
That's what you started it.
And we'll have all that information there. I don't think it's worth saying on the podcast because I find that's a little pretentious.
Yeah, we still need to make a Twitter account for this thing.
Well, we have our own.
I still think we should make
Yeah, that'll be something we work on. Once we get this brand, this podcast is a brand.
We need to make our own hashtag.
Let's not be one of those. I got a text from a friend. Again, I'm not gonna say names, just for the sake of principle. I said this person could very well be on next week's podcast. Who knows? But I got a text with a hashtag in the text, and I know it was to piss me off because this person knows how to piss me off. But honestly, I lost it. I had to share it with the people around me and say, I just got a text with a hashtag in it. This is so wrong that I just didn't know what to do with it.
I may have just whoops.
What'd you do?
I kicked the cords. That might have shown up on the audio. I don't know.
Oh,
we'll find out later.
As long as you didn't disconnect anything, but yeah. Anyways, let's just keep it this way. And I know you're listening, the mysterious person who hashtag in their freaking text. Do it again, and I'm gonna come to your house and I'll hunt you down.
See, I'm bad for I'm one of those guys that uses hashtags ironically.
I'm like that with everything. I do it ironically to the point that I just do it.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
I'm just trying to think. What's the thing? Oh, bae. The word bae.
Bae.
I use it all the time. I use it sarcastically, but I use it so often. I think to myself, I'm like, is it even sarcastic anymore? I never use it personally, but I always refer to someone's boyfriend or girlfriend as their bae, and it's just, I don't know how to stop myself.
Fucking YOLO.
Swag.
420 blaze it, faggot.
Our generation is just crumbling. But anyways, again.
Hashtag butts.
We're getting on tangents here.
Hashtag butt stuff.
Okay, enough. We're working on a forum in which we can best communicate with the people listening. Because you know what, that's the other thing I'm excited about is being able to communicate with people that you'd never be able to communicate.
Hashtag excitement.
Okay, I think now we should probably wrap this up here pretty quick. When the hashtags
Before they
start coming
revolt,
out.
yeah.
But okay, you know, we're ending this podcast now. Final thoughts on how the first podcast went. Our first
Final thoughts.
setback and a shot of tequila. See, I said it right this time.
Shotbacks to set of tequila.
That was the first thing I said. First thing I said in our very first podcast, I messed up. But we're gonna keep that.
Bravo. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It sets the premise for what people should be expecting.
Yeah. Totally sets the tone.
But you know what? I am very happy. I'm actually surprised on how.
Yeah, this went a lot better than I honestly thought it did. I had fun. This was awesome. I had a
lot of fun. You know, tomorrow while you're editing everything, it might be a different story.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything runs smoothly.
I don't like edit. I don't mind editing. It's just so monotonous.
Yeah, I can't stand it. That's spoiler.
That's why I've been honestly.
That's why I stopped doing YouTube for so long, because editing just I hate it.
That's kind of why I get lazy with my daily vlogs, just because it's like I can't do that every day.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we're getting on a tangent again. We're wrapping things up here. Our final thoughts.
We should try. How long have we been running, according to your stopped and started timer?
Actually, we're at an hour and 32 minutes.
Shit, son.
We'll have a little bit, you know, I'm sure a little bit break up. We'll probably knock it down to about an hour and like 25. But anyways, okay, we're finishing this podcast up because we have to know when to stop. Because it's enough to ask people to It's enough to ask people to dedicate an hour of their time, let alone an hour and a half, because that's...
Especially for like a first episode pilot, like completely untested.
And for the people who want to listen to it to support us,
thank you. I love you.
I'm sorry for making you sit through all this.
I will suck your dick. I mean, what?
Oh, okay, so back to the oral pleasure or making out. We clearly know what your answer is. Yeah. Should we have a closing? Should we have a closing thing we do here for this podcast?
If we do, we should probably plan it out beforehand.
No, you know what? We're here. Is there anything? You know, we start out strong with a shot.
I just want to say that maybe a leather couch isn't the best idea. Because I know that this is showing up on audio.
Okay, well, let's...
I can't move around without, like,
let's not finish
farting.
This podcast with leather sounds. Okay. Yes, enough. Anyways, guys, this is going to wrap it up here. Thanks again for listening.
Yes, thank you. Seriously.
This is a blast to do. We're having a great time.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Hopefully you can join us next week.
Yeah, no, you know what? Next week we can guarantee, because we know what we want to do, and we'll see how this turns out. But regardless, even if we get no one listening, we're just going to keep doing it until something airs.
Totally.
Right? But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Kenny.
And I'm Luke.
And this was an episode of Setbacks and a Shot of Tequila.
And you said it right. Perfect. Bye.